What's going on, people? It is Irish Learner HD here. You can call me Irish, and today you're going to be watching some very different, unusual gameplay. I know, when you've seen the thumbnail and the title and stuff like that, you're probably wondering, like, what the hell? But yeah, this is in fact Harry Potter and the Philosopher Stone running on my PC on a PS1 emulator kind of thing. So yeah, so when I was younger, like back in like 2001, whatever, when it came out, I played this game and I remember it vividly because we didn't have a memory card. So I got it for Christmas and I had to leave my PlayStation 1 on all night on Christmas Day night, going into Stephen's Day, because we didn't have a memory card. But yeah, basically, long story short, I haven't played it since then. I don't think I ever actually finished it. So out of boredom and out of like just completely random, it came into my head to download it and play it. Now, the reason that you're watching this is, as you can see, I repeatedly fail this level. So what I have to do is I have to outrun this kind of troll thing, and I believe I passed it when I played it on the PS1 when I was a kid, so I must have been some kind of gaming prodigal genius or something like that as a kid, because it's impossible. Because the challenge is I don't have control of my jumping, so I just have to run. I have to aim Harry where he's running, and the computer takes over the jumping. So sometimes, as you can see there, if you take too long to jump, if you stop and let him gather himself so he can jump properly, the troll thing will catch up in you. And if not, you will just kind of either just tend to run off. Like sometimes if you don't hit the exact perfect spot, he will just run off. He'll just run off the edge. But yeah, so all of that aside, why am I actually showing you this? Because basically, it's probably the most infuriating level, or like part of a level or whatever, that I've probably ever come across in a game. And I was wondering, and I was like kind of thinking, what other like infuriating levels have I experienced? If anyone's played the old PS2 game, Mark Echo's Getting Up, there's a level in that I've still to this day, no matter how many times I've played it, I've never gotten like all the achievements. It's the first mission in, if you'd have to know this, but it's a mission called Gabe's Hood, and basically you have to tag 2 different vans 10 times, go over like I think it's like 4 pieces by your enemy guy, Gabe. You have to go over 4 of his pieces, and they're in really awkward, difficult spots where it's really easy, sorry, for the police to catch you. And you have to go over 2 or 3 kind of like side pieces and stuff like that. But like, which isn't a problem in itself, but the problem is that there's like never-ending respawning CCK police officers, basically. So like you kill them, or like you fight them and you defeat the 3 or 4 of them, 5 of them that are there initially, which is hard enough in itself. Like, you're trying to do all these challenges without being seen, and there's like 4 or 5 police officers and a security camera. And then like they never endlessly respawn, so like you can kill them or you can make themselves catch on fire by the bin in the alleyway, but they'll just keep respawning, and it's really, really difficult. And I'm still, no matter how many times I've tried it, I've spent hours upon hours at it, I've still never actually done it. And like that got me curious, and I was like, well, where would this kind of feature? Do any of these things that I've played, did they feature in any kind of like ultimate, like top 10 most difficult, most frustrating levels of all time kind of thing? And I looked around and they didn't. No, in fairness, I wasn't really expecting them, because like Harry Potter and Mark Echo's Getting Up are not the most worldwide famous games out there. But there were some interesting ones. I don't have them handy. I was looking at them the other night, but they were all mostly retro games. And then that kind of put me on to like a different spin. Like, they were all like GoldenEye and certain stages of Mario and Donkey Kong and stuff like that. And that got me wondering, like, why was there no modern games? There was literally no game after like probably the early 2000s. Like, even like, if even that, like all the games on this list, I can't remember, I think it might have been on like Kotaku or something like that. But yeah, there was no modern games, and then that put me onto the train of thought of like, I've thought for a long time that modern games are too easy. Like, I tend to play, when I play a new game that I'm not familiar with, I tend to start off on the medium difficulty usually. I know certain people like just will not do that. They will start off on like ultra hardcore and just like power through it and just like just go non-stop until I finish it on hardcore. But like, I like to be challenged, don't get me wrong, but I don't like to have my hair pulled out like I was doing in this game every time I play a new game, because I'm the kind of person that if it's too hard and if I just can't get through it like super, like relatively easily, if I have to like pull my hair out every single mission to get through it, I will just give up after a couple of them. I just won't be bothered to continue. But yeah, sorry, going back to the point. So that got me thinking then, have modern games got too easy? Because I've heard people like Total Biscuit say before that it's like, it's either one thing or the other. They guide your hand through it with all these instructions, and like they like, especially in the beginning, like for the tutorials and stuff like that, they tell you exactly what to do, and there's not really any challenge left in it. Then when you go through the levels, there's infinite saves, there's save states and stuff like that. There's like never ending. Like most games I think use like a save thing where you can just press start and save. The more difficult ones now will have like save checkpoints where if you fuck up, you go back to the checkpoint. And that was one of the problems with this level actually here. There's 3 stages in it, so you see just there as I was talking about it, it goes into like a cinematic cutscene for thing. It does that 3 times, so there's 3 sections. But if you die at the very end of the 3rd section, or if you fall into the acid or the troll gets you at the very end of the 3rd section, you start back at the beginning of the 1st one, and that just made it infuriating. That added to the difficulty. But most games now, it's like, yeah, you can just easily retry it from where you left off just before you died, or they're just not that challenging in general. It's just kind of avoid the incoming fire or whatever like that. And it was just a really interesting thing to think. Like, I would like to see an updated, or somebody that would take modern games into account when it came to this kind of thing, like as far as like what are really, really difficult games. Because again, even my 2 examples were older games like Harry Potter and Mark Echoes. I'm trying to think of a really, really, really difficult. Let me just look on my games list here and see if any of them spring to mind. Like there's certain ones like Trials, for example. Like Trials, I think it's Evolution is the one that I have. Some of them I can spend over an hour at, just repeatedly trying to get like clear the section. But that wouldn't really count in my opinion. I'm trying to see. No, like I'm looking at my list here, and like there's a Skyrim occasionally you get like an extra difficult dragon or something like that. But like by and large, there's not really that much challenge in games anymore, and I think it kind of showed through. But yeah, just as I showed the ending here, I had to eventually use a save state. Thankfully, I was using the emulator thing. I was able to use a save state and load it up. But yeah, just to finish off, I just wanted to ask you, what are your personal hardest kind of missions or levels that you've ever come across? And do you think that gaming has gotten easier? Because I'm genuinely curious. But that's it. Sorry again about the random Harry Potter gameplay. It's not Battlefield, it's not Forza or anything like that. So I do apologise about that, but it was on my mind. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.